Thank you very much. So in this video today, this webinar, we want to talk about how to drive mental health awareness campaign. We want to talk about this. This is very important because I like you to just really believe me. Mental health issues have become a public health concern in Nigeria, in Africa. And it takes you and I to be involved. It takes us building leaders in this particular mental health sector to break the jinx, to change the narration of the high population of persons in Africa and across the globe that are suffering or living with mental disorders, or having to be caregivers, or having to be very directly involved, either policymakers, either caregivers, either maybe health professionals. So no matter the divide you might be, I like you to just please understand that you have a very critical role and responsibility to be involved in driving mental health awareness. And please, I will appreciate that you just follow me carefully, and also other facilitators that will be coming on board. Just follow us carefully to see how we can guide you to also become a champion, become an agent, become a mental health leader, an advocate to driving mental health awareness across Africa. Now, quickly for today, I would like to just speak to how to drive mental health campaign across Africa. Now, 5 things importantly you just need to know. Number 1, to start, you need to start by creating awareness. This will be by spreading the word about mental health, and also the importance of seeking help when needed. The importance of people knowing that when it is urgent or it is expedient for them to seek help, it is very important that they reach out for that help. It's also very important that you know that we'll be talking about the use of social media, community gatherings, and also traditional media to educate people. Point number 2, engage with individuals and communities. It is very important that you should know that you must reach out to people and communities across Nigeria, across Africa, across where you are, to discuss their experiences with mental health and mental illness. Also very important, note, this can help break the silence, break the stigma associated with mental health, and encourage people to reach out to seeking for help. Point number 3, collaborate with local organizers. Okay, look out for local organizations that you can collaborate with. Okay, we encourage synergy. Let there be concerted efforts that we can bring together at the center. Look out for family members, look out for people, look out for institutions that you can collaborate with to drive these across board. Partner with organizations that are already working in the mental health sector in Nigeria, or in your state, or in your county, or in your country. Look out for institutions or organizations. Okay. Point number 4, use technology. You need to leverage on the use of technology and see how you can advance to reaching a wider scope of populations or target audience. Point number 5, advocate for policy change. It's very important that policy have a very critical place in achieving mental health sensitization across the developing countries. We can't overemphasize the place of mental health reforms. As a matter of fact, that remains the cardinal core thematic area for AMRA, right? So it's very important that we know and we understand that the place of mental health policy or mental health reforms in terms of legislation, policy, and plan, is very critical to providing leadership, to providing unified platform where every subject matter of mental health is well taken care of. So we need to advocate for policies. Policies need to change. Like, interestingly, in Nigeria now we have the Lunacy Act of 1958 being kicked out. Now we have a brand new legislation that speaks directly to all of the engagement, all of the policies, all of the activities that surrounds mental health services and care in Nigeria. And I also believe that all other African countries who are yet to repeal or come up with their own mental health legislations or policies or plan or frameworks will be thinking towards that direction, as these have over time been clearly seen to be a tool to building a mentally healthy society across developing countries. Please remember that creating a mental health campaign is a long-term process that requires patience, that requires dedication and commitment to improving lives and mental well-being of the population. So please, as you plan to engage in mental awareness creation and campaign, please understand that patience is required, and consistency and commitment is also required of you, particularly as a prospective mental health advocate or leader. All right, so in building mental health awareness campaign, it's also very important that we bring to your knowing where to access or how to access psychoeducation materials. Now, for psychoeducation materials, it's very important to know that for you to gather materials for mental health, for your mental health awareness campaign, you must be a friend of the internet. So online platforms, there are a lot of online websites that you can get lots of materials from. We have the Mental Health United for Global Mental Health portal. We have the Mental Health America. There are just a lot of websites online where you can get psychoeducational materials for. Again, we have a lot of apps. We have a lot of self-help books where you can get very good content, in terms of developing your mental health awareness campaign. Some of those books are titles you can find will be The Power of Now, The Power of Now by E. Tolle, and also The Happiness Trap by Ross Harris. We can get all of these books, and then I can guarantee you there are wonderful materials, contents that can help you develop your mental health awareness campaign. Also, there's a book, the handbook that we developed for adolescent mental health. So you can also look out for that on Amazon, adolescent mental health handbook. You can also use that to develop a targeted mental health awareness campaign for the youth, right? For the youth in developing countries. Again, you can attend workshops. You can try to also join therapy groups where you can also learn some first-hand information on how to really come up with awareness materials that can be very helpful for your campaign. Also, again, there are online courses that you can sign up for, Coursera, Udemy, a lot of all these online courses platforms where you will find mental health courses that will really boost your campaign development program for mental health awareness. Now, please, I'd like to say this in wrapping up in this section. Remember that it is important to seek professional help if you are struggling with mental health issues. Please do remember, even though you have access to all of these materials, or you stumble on campaigns on mental health awareness and you're able to self-educate yourself, but you find yourself struggling with your mental health, irrespective of how much knowledge that you have been able to gather, to know, I want to strongly admonish and advise that you reach out for professional help. Reach out for help. These resources can be very helpful, but they are not a substitute for professional care. All right. So, as mental health leaders, as mental health advocates, as maybe caregivers or professionals who are ready to
develop mental health awareness campaign. It is very important that you give attention to this very particular section. It's very important. I'm going to be giving some few bullet points that you must consider factoring into the development of the awareness campaign. Number one, you must be able to define your objective. You must be able to determine what you hope to accomplish with your campaign. You must be able to include clearly what the objective is going to be targeted at. Now, this can include raising awareness about mental health issues, breaking down stigma associated with mental health. It could also even maybe be that you want to encourage people to open up for treatment and management of their mental health. So it's very okay to rope around so many thematic areas, but importantly, you must define your objective, your campaign objective. Your mental health awareness campaign must be roped around a particular objective. Point number two, identifying your target audience. It's very, very, very crucial. You must decide who you want to reach out, who you want your campaign to reach out to. You must be able to also conclude that individuals with mental health issues are your primary target, or maybe policy makers, or maybe you want to just reach out to the pregnant women, nursing mothers, workplace environment, mental health. You just need to define your target audience. This is very, very important. If you want to also, make it an awareness campaign targeted to the general public, it is also very fine, trust me. Point number three, develop your message. Right, irrespective of the fact that yes, this is a mental health awareness campaign, you need to develop your message. Create a clear, concise message that communicates your objective and resonates with your target audience. Your message must wrap around your objective and the target audience you're pushing this campaign to. Please do not forget this. Point number four, choose your channel. Choose the medium you wish to communicate this campaign to. Through. You must be able to come up with the channel you want to determine best to communicate your message, your campaign to your target audience. This could be social media, this could be email, newsletters, print medias, public events. There are so many channels. Just decide on one or two channels that you want to focus on to disseminate to the public or to your target your campaign. Again, in also trying to develop this awareness campaign, it's very important that you engage with stakeholders. Very important. You engage with stakeholders, collaborate with mental health organizations, mental health professionals, and community leaders to spread your message and gain the support of your campaign. You need to clearly reach out to stakeholders that will help drive your campaign, that will help drive the spread of your campaign. Look out for these stakeholders and seek collaborations with them. Point number six, measure your success. It's very important that you come up with metrics, come up with yardsticks, how you will, independently measure your success, so that you see what's like the level of the campaign's effectiveness, by monitoring the engagement metrics, monitoring the website traffic or social media engagement. You just need to come up with some measures to really measure the success of your campaign. Point number 7, as I close on this section, remember the mental health awareness campaign requires time, resources, and dedication. As mental health leaders, we are really very deliberate in bringing this to you to know. You must understand that in building mental health awareness campaign, it requires time, it requires resources, and your dedication. Please do not forget, however, this can also significantly impact on improving mental health outcome and breaking down the stigma associated with mental health, with mental illness. Very important. All right, thanks a lot. I know that you're still following, and I'd like to sincerely appreciate you for keeping tab with us on this webinar. I mean, this is just very, very important to us, and we are not taking it lightly that you're sharing your time with us to be on this webinar. We are really, really grateful. I quickly want to share with you now in this next section some strategies, very key strategies to help in your mental health awareness campaign, flourish and really be impactful. We want to see you as a mental health advocate, as a mental health leader, develop these mental health awareness campaigns in your counties, in your states, your countries, at your community in such a way that they will be very effective. So please, these following strategies are very important. Strategy number 1, use local languages and cultural references. Be very sure to make use of campaign materials and translate them into local languages and use cultural references that resonate with local population. Very key. Use local languages and cultural references. Point number 2, leverage community leaders. I've spoken about this earlier. Please do not make light about collaborating with community leaders. They play a very vital role in the success of your campaign. All right? Point number 3, focus on prevention. Focus on prevention highlights the importance of preventive measures such as stress management, self-care in maintaining good mental health. Do not forget, this is very important in having your campaign succeed. Focus on prevention. Always be deliberate about highlighting the importance of preventive measures such as stress management, self-care, maintaining good mental health in your campaign design. Point number 4, address the subject matter of stigma. Address stigma associated with mental illness directly and develop messaging that emphasizes the importance of seeking help without the fear of judgment or being shamified. Please, you need to mainstream this subject matter in your campaign as a strategy. Point number 5, use social media. Always engage the use of social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram. These are very powerful tools that will help widen the reach and scope of your campaign. Please take advantage of that. Point number 6, train community members. You must be able to provide training for community members, including teachers, healthcare workers, community healthcare workers, traditional leaders, religious leaders. Please target and see how you can focus on training them. They have a very, very key role to making your mental health awareness campaign succeed at all costs. All right, so we can go. So, still speaking on the strategies to help you develop effective mental health awareness campaign. Point number 7, work with local media. It's very important that you partner with local media, partner with local media outlets. Look out for them in your state, look out for them in your community, reach out to them, okay? Develop friendship, fraternize them at all costs. Get them to be part of your campaign success. Develop messages and then see how they can help you get wider audience, okay? Point number 8, please remember, mental health awareness campaign in developing countries requires sensitivity to local cultural and social contexts and also a deep understanding of the barriers to accessing mental health care. Very important. Do not neglect the sensitivity of local cultural and social context and deep understanding of local barriers that needs to be addressed in achieving a very successful mental health awareness campaign. Very important. Very important. And that's why I like to again re-emphasize that see how you can bring on board traditional leaders, bring on board religious leaders to your campaign team so that they can really help you in terms of the cultural and social context of your campaign so that this flies. Right, thank you very much, guys. I'm really excited, and I'm just happy to know that we're getting more people join this conversation. This webinar is taking, even though we're already wrapping up, but I'm just happy to know that people are really willing to participate and to sign up for this mental health leadership program across Africa. Now, in closing, we just want to give again about 5 to 7 points that will really help you build a robust mental health awareness campaign. Okay, so I'm just going to add some few more additional effective strategies. One, please ensure that you use community-based approach. Ensure that you use community-based approach. Work with community leaders, health workers, and other stakeholders to raise awareness about mental health and also the importance of seeking help. Work with community leaders. We can't overemphasize this. Okay, they will make this awareness campaign and then the whole activity around it easier for you. Point number 2, address stigma. Stigma has proven to be one of the reasons why people have really refused to embrace treatment or continue treatment, or even want to openly have conversations around the subject matter of mental health. So please, it's very important that you rope in how to address the subject matter of stigma. Challenge the stigma associated with mental illness. Very important. This will help us gain through the communities, and then also breaking the jinx, around the knowledge gap, around the ignorance that is really buffeting people within the developing countries and even some developed countries, on the subject matter of mental health. So this is very important. Point number 3, provide education and information. In developing your campaign, please seek to develop and distribute educational materials about mental health in local languages. Okay, come up with formats and try to see how you can really come down to earth and simplify, demystify some of these core terms, in trying to educate this very unique population of persons that you have chosen to be your target audience. Point number 4, again, this is having us to know that we can't overemphasize the use of media. Okay, you need to see how you can really bring in the media to your work, either social media or contemporary media. You just need to work with the media to improve your reach and your scope, and also the impact that will be following as outcomes. The next will be engage with schools and organizations. Okay, try to see how you can rope around your campaigns around schools. They are proven to be a very fertile platforms where we can drive mental health awareness programs. Also in the workplace organizations, target some specific organizations and see how you can drop in, mental health in workplace, and also drive to see how your campaign is pulled through to that effect. Partner with schools and youth organizations to educate young people about mental health and promote mental health awareness for not just only young persons, but we're very much interested in adolescents and youth. Okay. Also try to see how you can train healthcare providers. There are a lot of healthcare providers who are not very acquainted, or maybe have very specialized skills on mental health care or services. See how you can rope this around your campaign, and this will be very, very helpful. Okay, so now, as I
I make effort to round up in this section.
Please remember point number 7, very critical. It's a very effective strategy. You must be able to provide access to mental health services. In your campaign, you must be able to rope in how to improve, how to provide access to mental health services. Again, this is something that you can rope around the universal health coverage, something that you can also rope around the Sustainable Development Goal, SDG 3. It's very important that access to mental health care is provided. We must be able to come up with measures how we can improve access also in communities and in counties and states, in locations and in societies where people do not have access to mental health care or are unable to afford where there is a provision of these services, where they are unable to provide cost, finance these services. It's very important that we look into these and see how we can rope it into our campaigns and see how do we refer. You must be able to come up with facility mapping where you can easily refer people to having created this high-level awareness. And now that they are aware, where do they get help from? Where do they reach out to? Apart from some of the social media platforms that we will be providing shortly, where people can reach out to, and also some of our toll-free lines, it's very important that we map out in our various countries, various states, various locations, map out mental health facilities where people can be referred to. This is very important. Do not just leave them hanging. Provide and see how you can also enhance access to mental health care. Lastly, please remember, raising awareness about mental health in developing countries requires collaborative and community-based approach. Very important. That can prioritize culturally sensitive, cultural sensitivity, education, and access to care. This is very important. Very, very important. Let me take that again. Please know that raising awareness about mental health in developing countries is very, very critical, that you must factor into your campaign plans, okay? Collaborations and community-based approach where social and cultural morals and context is being taken into consideration. Do not forget that you must seek to partner with local stakeholders in achieving effective mental health awareness campaign program. Thank you very much for sharing your time with us on this webinar today. We're very excited to have you join us, and for those who just joined, no issues, you can find the recordings and then have a full dose of what we have talked about. Largely, we've talked about how you can really develop awareness campaign, and then we've also shared some of the key objectives, and also how you must take into cognizance some of these strategies to ensure that you are working with the right audience and you're using the right medium to communicate your message. Thank you very much for joining us. If you need to get any of the books we did mention, please just look out. We will be sharing it also in the text, where you will reach out and see a lot of books that are available for you to take advantage of in building up a very robust mental health awareness campaign. Until again we come your way, remember this is going to be coming it's going to be a bi-weekly webinar. So until we come again your way next time, please remember that you play a very critical role in building a mentally healthy society across Africa. Play your role, do your part, and let's together be involved. Mental health is very important, very important. Not just your physical health, but your mental health talks and speaks largely to your well-being and productivity. Right? So here's thanking all the Board of Trustees and management and staff of the Mandated Empowerment Initiative, and also of AMBRA, the Association of Mental Health Reform Organizations in Africa. Thank you very much, all the editorial team and all the crews behind the screen for making this happen. Thanks a lot, Mr. Manuel, and everybody. We do appreciate you. God bless you. Stay mentally healthy.